If we can double click in terms of this MEV, Yurii, I think that's the neat intro to MEV. But what are like, are there like different types of MEV out there? I know, is there like, would you guys at Wallchain classify some MEV as good MEV and some MEV as bad MEV? And how do you look at the overall value chain of the MEV as well?
The biggest categories of MEV, we can put an arbitrage, which is a king because it's biggest chunk of MEV, and it will always exist because like there will always be different sources of putting your orders, buying and selling tokens, and those prices on different exchanges has to bring to balance somehow, and like arbitrage is the way to go. There is front running and sandwich attacks, which is not that good, and it always harm users. But like, some players have the power to extract that, like validators or like some infrastructure on top of that, MEV boost, for example. And there is also like more rare type of MEV, like liquidation, NFT MEV, some voting MEV. When you vote for DAO, your vote also can be like front run. So we are mostly focused on arbitrage and sandwich because these are like the biggest parts of MEV. I believe that with the time, when everything becomes more efficient, front running and sandwiches become like less and less because protocols become more efficient. We have like aggregators, we have private mempools, private RPCs, we have like private transactions, and with all of that, I believe the volume of front running will not be that significant, but the volume of arbitrage would only grow, especially with the number of tokens that grows, with the number of dexes, chains. Yeah. Also, let's talk about what's important to mention: the MEV supply chain, where it starts and like where it can be extracted. So it starts like we have a user who is interacting with some decentralized application. So we have user decentralized application, which is usually a decentralized exchange. We have a wallet. Then the wallet goes to mempool. It can be like public or private RPC. And then we have some validator or infrastructure on top of it, like builders, proposers, and relays who pick the block. In any of that steps, like user, decentralized application, wallet, mempool, infrastructure on top of validator and validator, in every of these steps, MEV can be extracted.
How is this exactly extracted in practice?
Yeah, usually it's extracted at validator level or the block which is proposed for the validator. There was a great improve with MEV boost introduction, and the auction went off chain, but still the money were extracted from protocols and users, and they were given to validators and searchers.
Right.
At the same time, we can also extract MEV before that. It can be extracted when someone provides like private RPC to wallet or like to the user. For these 2 years, it hasn't got significant adoption, which probably is because of not the best user experience, because you need to put private RPC. It's hard to trust that RPC where you give your transaction to someone. It's like not easy to trust to that process. You always need to remember that you have that RPC and you need to switch to it, because when you go to like Uniswap, you swap on Ethereum, you provide your private RPC, then you go on BNB, and when you turn back to Uniswap, it automatically pushes you to use default Ethereum RPC. So you need to remember that like some time ago you were using private RPC and you need to enable it again. Yeah, and there are also solutions that help protocols extract that MEV on the protocol level, and it's Wallchain.
So we'll come to that. What is Wallchain, and how are you looking at tackling MEV as a problem?
So like our one-liner is that we give money back to users that would otherwise be gone to bots, and those bots are like MEV bots. We started as a B2B, so we are already integrated with QuickSwap, the biggest DEX on Polygon, Baby Doge, the biggest community on BNB chain, ApeSwap, a few other DEXs. And if there is some MEV created on the DEX, we capture it and we share it with their community. So instead of it going to bots and to validators, we give it back to the community. Like to compare Wallchain with other MEV solutions, we are fully application level. So other solutions, they are based on private RPC, private mempool, or they're fully inside the infrastructure like MEV Boost.
Yeah.
What's the main difference here? We are even before the private RPC. So we analyze the transaction at the moment when it is created, if there is any potential MEV to capture. If there is something, we insert MEV strategies inside the transaction. Then it's being signed by the user, and then it goes to the mempool. It can be public mempool, it can be private mempool. It doesn't affect us a lot. We are still guaranteed to capture the MEV that we capture, because we are inside the transaction. And while other MEV players, they're trying to reorder transactions, bundle a few transactions like into one bundle, they still cannot affect Wallchain because we're inside the transaction. So whatever you put like before or after, you need to capture the MEV profit after the user transaction. We leave zero opportunities to them because we capture everything inside user transaction.
Yeah. So I mean, in a way, you're like extracting MEV value like these bots, but instead of taking it for the bots or for the validators, you are giving a lot of it back to the users and to the application, right?
Exactly. So we are actually giving more to the users than any other MEV solution.
And from a user's perspective, Yurii, here, if I'm using QuickSwap, do I have to integrate separately or run any code to kind of integrate Wallchain? Or by default, if I'm using QuickSwap, then this Wallchain integration is happening at the back end anyways?
It's by default on every QuickSwap transaction.
Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, yeah, please go on.
The good point here is on every QuickSwap transaction, so we analyze, but we affect only transactions that have MEV opportunity. If you use private RPC, you need to send all of your transactions to that private RPC, and then it extracts MEV if it is, or if there is no MEV, it doesn't extract MEV because there is no MEV. But because of you using private RPC, you're paying more gas, usually 10 to 15% more gas for all of your transactions. But only around 5% of transactions have MEV opportunity, which means you're paying more gas for 95% of your transactions for no reason, which makes Wallchain 95% more gas efficient.
Got it. From user's perspective, the experience is still pretty much the same. It's seamless because you don't require the users to do anything. Your business development is primarily to go out and speak to the DEXs, sell them your proposition, and just integrate with them at the back end, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's actually how it all started and how it goes now, like B2B to DEXs. We also integrated with wallets. Actually, like wallets love us so much that 4 founders of wallets are our angel investors. So we have a huge potential here as well. And we actually also started a fully B2C approach. We have a Wallchain Chrome extension, which is in beta test now, closed beta. You install Wallchain Chrome extension. You can go to any EVM chain. You can go to any protocol, any exchange you like. You can use any wallet you like. It can be MetaMask or any other wallet. You only need to have Wallchain Chrome extension. And when your transactions create MEV opportunity, we will show you a pop-up saying like, hey, a bot is going to take $80 from your transaction. Would you want to capture it yourself? You can reject, or you can agree and capture this $80 yourself. We are not competing with private RPCs. You can also use private RPC for that.
Yeah.
You can use any RPC for that. You can use any wallet for that. We don't need to partner with blockchain or protocol or a DEX or wallet to do that. It's fully separate, standalone Chrome extension, which gives users all the power to capture MEV themselves. That's the difference we see with DeFi and TradFi. In TradFi, users don't have the power. And in DeFi, users have all the power because they trigger actions on the blockchain. they bring money to the table. So they have
Yep.
the power to get rewarded, and we just enable that power for them.